What's going on, everybody? This is Jailbreak Weekly. This is the special JailbreakCon edition of Jailbreak Weekly. And here with me today, I have Jarek Davis. What's going on, Jarek?
I'm just everything.
Everything. That's good. That is very cool. And I'm David. What's going on with you?
Not much. Hoping the power does not go out for the fourth consecutive time.
Oh,
Right.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
It's a bad time to live back east.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, like whenever my phone's like unplugged and the power's out, I feel so powerless. I don't know, I just feel like I have no control.
Oh god.
But anyways, so today we have some exciting, things to share with you guys. It's actually not stuff that we're going to be doing in the moment. This is being recorded right now after JailbreakCon. However, we did receive some, awesome interviews at the event. We got 2 interviews. We got Ryan Petrich and we got Surenix. So, we're going to be playing those within this episode. And, we were really excited to, basically have them talk to us, and we're very thankful that they took some time out of the conference to, basically spend some time with us. And it was me, Jarek, and Justin at the event. And I guess we'll just roll the Ryan Petrich interview. Did you guys have anything to add before we roll that?
I just wanted to say I was incredibly, because unfortunately you guys could tell that my voice was not in the not in the recording. You guys will be able to tell.
Right.
I was actually not able to attend JailbreakCon, so I was super surprised because I went ahead and listened to both Ryan and Surenix's interview, and you guys did a fantastic job with the interview. So you guys did a really good job with that, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and I just I have to mirror Andy in saying thank you to both of you. You guys, both awesome dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely,
And
yeah.
you guys are going to love the interviews.
So let's go ahead and play them.
All right.
All right, so we are live here at JailbreakCon. We have Ryan Petrich with us today. How you doing, Ryan?
Hello, everyone. I'm really glad to be here. Doing great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming on. We have some questions to ask, and I guess we should just get right into it. So, first of all, how long have you been doing this? Because it's crazy, all the things that you've created, and it just seems like you're always there. You're just like you're just a piece. You're an essential piece. So, So when did you start doing this?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel like I've actually been doing this very long. And it actually feels like, compared with, Muscle Nerd and Jay and some other people, it feels like, oh, they've been doing it a lot longer than I have. But, I mean, I got started back in, I think it was 2008, really started getting serious about it. And at that time, it was already a burgeoning scene with, a bunch of different people, and I felt kind of like the underdog, and so I don't know. It definitely seems like
That's
now.
crazy.
I mean, I come to these events, and you see like, oh, most everyone is younger than me, and it's a little bit odd, but yeah, I've been doing this since 2008, and having a lot of fun, and just kind of, I don't know, just having a really fun hobby and getting to share it with people is really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been a staple in the community for as long as any of us have been a part of it, so that's...
And see, yeah, it's a good question, because a lot of people wonder, right? Like, it's like, oh, well, hey, this tweak is by Ryan Petrich. Hey, this other tweak is by... Hey, these 50 tweaks are by Ryan. I wonder how long he's been doing this. Like,
I know, it's...
Well, I mean, part of that is, the duration, and for the most part, I try and keep things up to date, although at this point, it's getting a little difficult, just the sheer volume. When Apple makes a lot of changes, like happened in iOS 7, it's a lot of work to keep things up to date. But part of it is just the approach that I have to writing tweaks, which is just, it's almost like expression. I just have this idea, I know my tools pretty well, and I can go in and take an idea and get it to some sort of minimally useful version of it in maybe a couple of hours if it's small. If it's really small, maybe even 1 hour. So that just means that I can get a lot of stuff. I can try a lot of ideas. Some of them are big and useful, and it's like, oh, okay, I should spend more time on this. I should make this a really good version of this idea. and some of them are, this is fun,
Right,
not
right.
super, big or anything. So let's just kind of do a fun version of it and maybe put it on the beta repo, maybe open source it. And then a lot of them are just, wow, that was a horrible idea. Why did I? And you don't see any of those. So no one some of those make it out, and I only realize in hindsight that this was a bad idea. Maybe it has sort of ecosystem effects or... Sorry, go ahead.
So, like, what's the percentage, would you say, of goods to bads, if you will?
How many fish do I throw back? Probably for every, maybe for every, out of 5 fish, maybe 3 of them get tossed back.
Wow. That's really interesting because, that's the kind of thing that, when you're thinking of developing tweaks or you think of tweak developers, you don't really associate that with, oh, hey, these guys make mistakes too, or, maybe these guys develop something that they don't really like, and they don't think is, gonna work, and it's like, why did they, like, so it's definitely an interesting kind of behind the scenes look, I think, at that.
I think actually most of the process of writing and to some extent making software in general is making mistakes.
Yeah.
There is a number of iterations of things that occur sort of in the developer's mind, and then that gets to the compiler, and there's a number of attempts there, unless you're really good and manage all your semicolons, right?
Yeah, of course.
But sometimes you don't, and the compiler screams at you. And then you have to run the code, and running the code often doesn't do the perfect representation of what you thought it might do. And then you have to revise that. So it's almost constant tripping over mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's before you even get to the like jailbreaking reverse engineering part, which is, oh, what does this complex system do? How do I add my own interpretation and my own layer on top of it that does something else, and sort of adapting it and molding it into the behavior I want. And sometimes the way to do that isn't really obvious, and it takes a lot of just experimentation, figuring out what are the different parts of the device do, and how can I use that to my own effects.
Right, yeah. I mean, this is a side note, but like I think of Activator is like it's like Google to the internet. You know what I mean? It's like the center for Cydia. Like the Activator is like the Google of the internet. It's the center. Like so many things just rely on it, and it's just like it's the go-to thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that out there because it's something that I've thought.
It's a
for a long time.
surprisingly perfect analogy of
I mean,
Activator.
That's to some extent. I mean, it's actually surprising that Activator even exists because it was almost an accident. Really, it was,
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm completely serious. It was
Wow.
to some extent, an accident in that I had these gestures for a commercial package called Overboard, where you could assign the buttons and say, and it was a very small set of gestures. I think it was 2 or 3 or 4 at the time, and you could assign that tweak to do that, and it's not very popular, but it was, at the time, it's what I built out the gestures for. And then I got working with Grant on Pro Switcher, and he was like, well, we should just use these gestures. And so the simple way would have been just to copy them over, but then there was this idea that they might conflict. Like, what if someone assigned the same thing to the other one? So we just spun it out into this tiny little library at the time.
Yeah.
And then, as time got on, it was people wanted more gestures, or people wanted more this, and it stayed as a library. And then at some point, I decided, hey, why not just build in some actions to it? And then
Boom.
It kind of grew from there.
Well, that's a pretty good accident.
Yeah.
That's my favorite accident that I have on my phone. So, question for you then about Activator, because a lot of JailbreakCon this year has a lot of people have been talking about like a watchOS jailbreak. So would you ever consider releasing Activator for the Apple Watch if it was jailbroken? Do you think it'd be the kind of thing that's beneficial?
I think certainly something in that same space. Certainly, it's something I would be experimenting with once an Apple Jailbreak or an Apple Watch Jailbreak became available. I'm not entirely certain if it would be under, an activator branding, or maybe somebody else gets to it and builds something really cool, and I can just, that is their thing now. But yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in taking the Apple Watch and having it do more things, and especially, it's a very personal device and it's very there, but it doesn't. There's not a lot of ways to interact with it,
Yeah.
and personalizing those and making them do the things that I want them to is something I'm really looking forward to doing.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. There's tons of like buttons and things on the watch that I just don't use, and it's just being able to reassign those to do other things, like compose a tweet, for example. That's it'll be huge, and I hope that I hope that you get in that space, and because we know your work. Your work has this. It's like a stamp in my mind when I see your work. Like it's going to be good. That's kind of how I think about your work.
Well, now you're making me blush, but
well, it's the truth.
We should have taken video.
Yes.
I'm not really blushing. It's
Oh, okay. A perfect example is the Apple Pay. You know how you double tap the friends button for Apple Pay? Well, in Canada we don't have that, and so I would definitely change that if I could. But
absolutely. Yeah.
Sure. At the very least, that could just go from being useless to now useful.
Yeah, exactly.
So, this next question kind of applies to both the Apple Watch and the, and iOS. Do you have any intentions for the App Store in terms of, any type of release?
I've experimented with App Store projects. Obviously, deeply diving into the SDK. I've actually ghostwritten a few apps for some people who, they want to get the first version of their app idea done, or, a few consulting things. I experimented with that, as most people in, I think, the jailbreak scene do. If you're a developer, and, so I've done some of that. I don't know if I'm ever going to plan to, really pursue the App Store as a large part of what I do as an engineer. For the most part, I have so much fun working on jailbreak stuff that, the App Store is interesting, but more from a consumer standpoint. Like, I'm interested in trying out new apps and maybe tweaking them sometimes, but I haven't really sort of gotten involved in that market.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else new and exciting coming up that you'd like to share? Any last remarks?
Yeah, I'm always working on a lot of new things, and some of the apples get tossed back, and I'm working on a number of things. I don't really have anything to announce. I've made the mistake in the past of announcing things before they're baked, or before I've fully sort of decided I'm going to finish them. I don't have anything to announce right now, but certainly you'll be seeing more things come out for me, and definitely updates to my existing software for iOS 9 when the jailbreak does come out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
It's funny because William Verbrinskis was doing a mini talk today about that, saying don't provide ETAs, which it's kind of funny how that kind of surfaced. But it's I can see why you wouldn't want to provide ETAs for anything or anything like that, because it makes you obligated almost if you announce it publicly, right? So.
Sure. Yeah, it's people will hold you to them.
Yeah.
And it seems it's incredibly rare to underestimate the time something is going to take, at least as far as software engineering is concerned.
Yeah. And life,
Well, and maybe
I have that problem.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found that out this morning.
Yeah, insider thing, but yeah. Well, thank you very much for doing this. We really appreciate it. I know there's stuff going on constantly. This is the same thing I said with the Surenix interview. So we appreciate you taking some time out of the day to do this with us.
Oh, yeah.
It really means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure just hanging out with everyone here at JailbreakCon and seeing members from the community. I mean, people I know online. I mean, people from last year. It's just been great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's been a great con, and we still got one day left too. Hey, so.
Yeah.
An entire another day.
I know.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the Ryan Petrich interview. So what do you guys have to say about this? Any thoughts on the interview after hearing it?
I mean, I thought it was so I have a little bit of a different opinion on it because, you guys were there live in the flesh with Ryan as he was talking, and you guys might have a little bit of a different angle on this. But from listening in, from an outside perspective, because, again, I wasn't there, sadly, I couldn't attend JailbreakCon this year. But yeah, so you guys did a fantastic job with that. But I thought it was definitely interesting with a lot of the points that he made, especially the one being the fact that Activator was actually made by accident, which I actually thought was like probably the craziest thing that probably he had said, because like Activator literally is like a staple in the jailbreak community right now. It's like basically like any tweak that runs Substrate probably runs on Activator too. Like you can bet it probably runs with Activator. So
yeah, it's very cool to hear that. It's really cool to hear that just someone like the best tweaks are just kind of start. I mean, I think that's the way a lot of them start, which is very it's something you may not expect. They just kind of start as a small little project, something that you kind of stumble upon, and then as time goes on, if people take to it, it could grow. And that's it makes, I'm sure that's very inspiring to developers. You could just kind of do that.
Right.
Any thoughts, Jarek?
Yeah, I mean, it's always just super cool interviewing developers. I think sometimes people forget that developers are people, especially like Ryan Petrich, who just cranks out tweaks. The guy's a monster.
Yeah.
But it's always just really cool to be reminded that these people are, people, as well as awesome people at that. I mean, really cool interview.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's true. Like just it kind of separating the Twitter handle or the tweak names from kind of like separating that from the actual person.
Yes.
Yes. So I think I guess we should just move on to the next interview, which was Surenix. Same deal. Again, thanks to him for giving us the time of day and sitting down with us and answering some questions. So I guess we'll just run that one now.
All right, so we have Surenix here, and we're going to be asking him a few questions just about what he does. And so first of all, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here. So I guess we'll just start right off with the first question. So basically, how did you get started doing like what you do? What got you into it initially?
I really have a passion for design and technology, and so one day I just decided to buy an iPhone, and then I discovered how jailbreaking, or how you could jailbreak and personalize your device, and that's where it really started, and it just took off from there, from customizing my home icons with other people's icons, then realizing that I can use my set of skills to make my own icons, then releasing it to the store for other people, and I guess it just took off.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, theming's, it's just happened just like that.
Yeah. And I got really lucky because it was still so new. Like jailbreaking was so new that there wasn't a lot of people in the game at the time. Right. So yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Did you guys have anything you'd like to add to that?
I mean, I think it's a pretty cool story for sure, and it's amazing. One of the top themers in the jailbreaking community, if not the top, is it's pretty interesting to hear how you got your start and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Being Canadian is a plus.
Yes, it is. And the best part is we're polite, so we have good customer service skills.
Yes.
All right. So
So are we all Canadian here? Or?
No.
oh no, I'm not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just us two. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
50-50.
Yeah,
I was born right
50-50,
by the
yeah.
border, though, so.
So it's like, okay, you guys
know.
get two birds.
Jerry,
My grandma says sorry, so.
Jared, just move a little closer.
Okay.
His grandma says sorry, okay.
Yeah, no, we say sorry, but just so you guys know, this is live from JailbreakCon, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we apologize if things aren't perfect, but all right. So we should probably move on to the next question because we want to keep these, not terribly long. So what would you recommend for designers who are just starting out and trying to get into the game with jailbreaking and theming, or maybe designing tweaks for developers, that type of thing?
So the number one tip would be just to have fun.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of themers and other people who want to come in, and they're all like, hey, I want to release like a theme. How much should I release it for? $1 or $2? What will make the most in terms of money? And I'm just like, well, whatever you want to be, like, it could be free, but just have fun. Like, don't stress about that. That stuff will come afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
So just
I
have
see what
fun.
you mean.
And if you love to do what you do, then just do it. Like, I mean, some people are just like, oh, I want to get into theming, but I don't. Either I have no interest in it, and I guess they see, I guess they look up to what I do, and it's really cool. But if you don't have the passion for it, it will show in your work, and you won't have fun. And
Yeah. That's
so have fun.
Yeah, that's a life lesson, It's true, it is, absolutely.
And everything else will come, so.
Yeah, that's true. So, this is kind of jumping the gun, this next question, but it's, I think it's something that certainly a lot of themers and, people who are interested in themes wonder. So, if the Apple Watch does receive a jailbreak, do you personally think that we will see a winterboard equivalent, and do you have intentions, if that happens, to be a part of building themes for the device?
So every year we get like Apple Sherlock's a bunch of things.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that they haven't is theming, right? And I think that and till today, like I ask people, well, why do you still jailbreak? And 90% of them say for theming.
Right.
So I think that if it does happen with Apple Watch, we will see it, and it'll be like one of the first thing and probably the best thing. And maybe we won't even get circular icons. We'll get like diamonds. You know how they do all like the diamond mask and square.
Yes.
So rounded squares. Maybe we'll see rounded squares to complement the rounded edges of rounded corners, of the Apple Watch.
Yeah, that's good. I like unity, so I can see that. Yeah.
Because I forget who it was who mentioned it to me. They keep saying how they want a round circular face for the watch because the whole UI is circular. Like everything is circular.
Yeah.
So why not this? And
Yeah.
that's what Jailbreak is there for, and we'll see that with hopefully Winterboard and everything else.
Absolutely.
Like
yeah.
you always say, design is complexity made simple. Right? So.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So, are you working on any other themes, just in general, for iOS? Right now, do you have any intentions for the future? Or?
Right now, no. I'm more focused with tweaks, updating some of the big tweaks that the developers have worked on, and trying to get an app in the App Store, which I recently
Yes,
did.
congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah.
You got it into the App Store in a big way.
Yeah. So, and
Yeah.
I owe a lot of that to probably like the Jailbreak community, who I know probably some of them just like they don't even need the app, but just to say, hey, I want to support, and just buying it and bringing it up to the top is amazing. So thank you guys.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your app? Because
definitely.
it's really taken off. Like I think it's in the top 10 in like multiple countries around the world right now. Correct?
Yes, when it's crazy. I've always wanted, like, one of my I guess like life career check bucket list, whatever, is to have an app in the App Store and to be number one. So and it is number one in multiple countries. So
Wow.
that is really exciting and interesting stuff. And so, but the app, what it does is it just allows you to take a glance at your iPhone battery life from your watch.
Yeah.
You simply just swipe up and you see it, and that's all it does. And I came up with the idea for because I was charging my watch in the other room, and one day, another day, I was driving, and I was like, hey, I wonder what my iPhone battery life was because I had iOS 9 installed and the battery was crap. So I was like, okay, there needs to be another way to check this without always reaching my pocket. And when you're sitting down, it's a pain to pull your phone out when it's so big, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do this, and we did it.
So it's called Power, correct?
Power, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds.
It does exactly what it is. Yeah, and I was playing around with like the word the things that come after power. So we had like glance. We went with glance with battery life, but then there was other one like power to your wrist or like power to power to. It was just like playing with different puns, and I know how Justin likes his puns. So it would have been awesome to have him in the naming process. So
Right.
yeah. Power it is.
Power, yeah. I will be sure to give it a download. I haven't got a chance to, but
Well, whenever you want for this podcast, I can give like 5 free promo codes for you guys. And
Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah.
Honestly, I'd be willing, for myself, I'd be willing to buy it. I'm happy to support
well,
it. So.
that offers on the table, so whenever this podcast goes live, I'll just give you 5, and whoever grabs it first, go for it.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No worries.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much. So we got one final question, and this is one that I think a lot of people have been wondering. Do you have any plans to update the famous Aki for iOS 8 or iOS 9, or just any time in the future?
We were really hoping for an iOS 8 jailbreak. And with iOS 7, we didn't have like the quick reply, so we were more motivated to create and develop and work on Aki. But in iOS 8, they brought that to us, but in a very simple way. I still miss sometimes when somebody would send me a message saying, so what movie do you want to watch, or when does the movie start? I'll take a screenshot of it, but then I'll have to go into the app to upload the screenshot instead of right there uploading the picture.
Right, yeah.
That was one of my favorite features in Aki, and I wasn't able to do that. We are working on it. We're like, I wouldn't say a little more than half, but we've stopped working on it because with Power and Benno, the developer, he's really busy with school right now in his last years, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's totally school's a big.
Yeah, like I didn't know that I was going to, like, I thought that I would talk at JailbreakCon this year, but I'm not. So we kind of got more into it in April, thinking that we would release it, but then finding out like about the roster and how there would be way too many speakers, so we just held it off. And because there is no public jailbreak right now, we just decided.
So are you thinking it's more likely that we see a release then in iOS 9 instead of 8, just because 9 is around the corner now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was talking to Benno, and there are some pretty cool APIs that they have now, which will make things, I guess, easier for us.
Yeah. Okay.
And if there is another iOS 8.x jailbreak, do you have intentions to release it for that, or would you just hold off until iOS 9? I mean, I don't know if you've thought about that yet.
My plan was to release another big tweak for iOS 8.
Oh, okay.
It was an Aki, but because we don't have a public jailbreak, that's also on the shelf. And it was like about 99% done. Aki was sitting at like 60%.
Yes, you must.
But if there was an 8 point whatever jailbreak, it's gonna take some time still. But we have the basic look done, but it's just like making it function well.
Right. Okay.
That takes some time.
Yeah.
And we always have to like test with older devices too. Like it can run amazing on the 6.
Yeah.
But then on the 5S, there are still users on the 5S, so we have to make sure that it works well for them too. And that's always the hardest part. So.
Right. Yeah. User experience for sure. Yeah. All right, and that just about wraps it up. We really appreciate you doing this. I know it's there's events going on constantly, so we appreciate you taking some time out of your day.
Yeah,
and,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Always happy.
Any final remarks? Anybody?
We just interviewed Surenix.
Yeah, I know that's a big
That's
big
my
thing.
my main final remark is.
I just got to mirror Andy. Thanks for taking the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
You guys are very welcome. Very, very welcome.
All right, so that was our Surenix interview. Yeah, it's the thing that really stuck out to me was when we asked him about Aki, how he said he did have plans to update it in the future. I thought that was probably a dead product because of iOS 8, but I mean, there's always like he said with Quick Compose and other ways of kind of enhancing it. There's always room for growth.
Right.
So that was something that was the most exciting part for me.
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the reason I just thought that, I just thought that it wasn't technically out of the question for Aki to be updated, but I mean, I saw it, if it was going to be out, I saw it more of like an iOS 9 kind of thing because he teased it back in April and then just didn't really say anything about it since. So I didn't really think it was going to be something. And, I might be totally wrong. It might launch tomorrow. Who knows? But and that's something for another podcast because we have something else to talk about later on. But yeah, so that's I mean, certain things like Surenix said, Quick Compose, and certain things like that is just it's not there. They didn't, they kind of half baked it into iOS 8. They didn't bring all of the features of Aki into iOS 8, so it's not totally dead. But the highlighted feature is dead, but it's not totally dead.
And also, I mean, when we actually recorded this interview with JailbreakCon, there was no jailbreak for the latest firmware, but now we have a new 8.3 jailbreak, which we're going to talk about in another episode, our next episode. And, he said he may have intentions to release Aki for iOS 8 if there's a new jailbreak, and here we go with the new jailbreak. So, hopefully we'll be seeing, like, a new Aki for iOS 8 and above soon. So
that's my point, though. I mean, I wonder if it is worth it to go ahead and update Aki for 8.3 now that we do have a new jailbreak, or if it's worth it to just simply wait until iOS 9 comes out at this point.
Yeah, that's true. We'll just have to see. Any thoughts on the Surenix interview, Jarek, at all?
I mean, I'm just excited to see what he does with this 8.3 jailbreak.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As he obviously has interest in the watch, given his App Store app power. So I'm excited to see what he can do on that front.
Which talking about power as well, he also did mention that he is going to give 5 copies away for us. So by the time you guys are hearing this, we should have those copies. So I don't know exactly what we're going to do with them, but if you want to know more about how you can, enter to win a copy of, Surenix's Power. It is a fantastic application. I haven't tested it myself because I don't have an Apple Watch right now. Otherwise, I probably would. But it is fantastic. I mean, you guys talked about it during the interview how it was like close to if not number one, it was very close to number one in the App Store in multiple countries. So that's just amazing. So I mean, the fact that he can get that close to number one in multiple countries even is just that says enough that it is a really good application.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still haven't got a chance to test it, but I will. It's something on my list, which I'm definitely gonna do it.
So if you want to know more about that, I guess you guys can just go ahead and follow us on Twitter. Our podcast Twitter is @JailbreakCast, and all of the links for our Twitters and everything are going to be in the description anyway, or in the show notes or wherever you're listening to this on. But yeah, so I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there.
Oh yeah. All right, so I mean, this was a fairly quick episode, but I mean, obviously the main point or the main purpose of this episode was to show you guys these interviews, just kind of talk a little bit about the interviews after they happen, just kind of after the event, and that's exactly what we did, and we hope you guys enjoyed the interviews. We certainly had a lot of fun talking to these guys, recording them. Both great people. And of course, we'll have their Twitter names in the description or show notes as well.
And also, I wanted to mention too I wanted to also mention that you guys might hear like a lack of Canadian accent. That's because we don't have, unfortunately, Justin is not with us right now.
Right.
And I don't know if he's gonna be I don't know when. For right now, he's busy, so I don't know this next episode, he's definitely not going to be recording with us. Well, I think he's not going to be anyway. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be. But so I wanted to. I guess I just wanted to commend, the three of you guys. You guys went to the event. You guys went to JailbreakCon. The three of you guys did a fantastic job with these interviews. So you guys did really good. So good job on that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to next year already. And hopefully we'll be able to do this again, and hopefully you'll be able to come, David. We're all hoping for it.
I'm hoping. Yeah, maybe we'll all be able to crash at Jarek's place.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
We might have to smuggle David in Andy's village. Well, we'll get you there somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
All right,
guys.
Yeah. Thanks for listening in, and be sure to catch us, in next week's episode, or not next week's, our next episode, which we're going to talk about Jailbreak and some other things as well. All right, guys. We'll catch you later, and have a good day.
Peace.